All right, well, as I said, everybody, thank you so much. Your support of the Westchester Food Pantry means everything to us. So thank you for being here and joining us to, meet fellow volunteers. Thank you for coming to see what we've been up to. I think everyone knows 2025 was a really interesting / stressful year, right? But we did it, and we did it with your help. And so we're going to talk about where we are in terms of, if you want to go to the next one, in terms of what we're doing now, review our 2025 year, and then look ahead for 2026. So first of all, quick history lesson. Does everybody here know how the food pantry got started? Yeah. I think so. Okay, just about. So really quick, long story, super short. The Westchester Food Pantry was started by a woman in town named Judy Swenson. She found herself unexpectedly a single mother of 2 small children with no career, no education to back her up, nothing, when her husband left. And when that happened, her family and friends really gathered around her to support her and fill in those gaps for things that she needed. And food was one of those gaps. And then when she got back on her feet, thanks to that help, she vowed to pay it forward. And so she started the Westchester Food Pantry. She started the pantry in her garage, then it moved into the Public Works building up at the Village Hall complex. Then it moved into the community room. And that's how it operated for about 20 years. People would come in next to maybe neighbors or friends who were paying a water bill or getting a building permit, and they would have to ask the village people for food. And then they would go and get maybe 1 or 2 pre-packed bags of pantry staples and give it to whoever was asking. There wasn't a lot of structure around that. So in 2015, that began the second phase of the food pantry. So we became more organized, we became an official 501c3, we became a member agency of the Greater Chicago Food Depository. And then surprise, COVID, oh, that stinks, okay. So COVID definitely stunk, but one of the things it really helped us to do was to find a new building. We knew that we were outgrowing our space, and at the time the village people decided they were going to buy this complex right over there, and that they were not going to take the pantry with us. They felt like it was not the village's job to help feed people. So I know,
takes a different village, huh?
We know who the villain is in that story. So we found our own building. We purchased this building right here in 2020, and then we did some renovations, and we opened up, or officially, in 2021. So we've continued to do really well. In 2025, we celebrated 30 years of service for the Westchester Food Pantry, 30 years. And then September 2025 was declared Westchester Food Pantry Month by the village president, which was a really, really wonderful honor. All right, who we are now. We've had some changes this past year. Because of the national administration, we have had some mandates given to us by the USDA and the Greater Chicago Food Depository. So we've kind of changed what we do. Right now, our service area is Illinois. It is no longer the 8 communities that we started out with. Our service area is now the entire state of Illinois. However, those 8 communities that we started with, Berkeley, Bellwood, Broadview, Hillside Hines, LaGrange Park, Westchester, Western Springs, are still considered our priority service area. And as people who are living in our priority service area, they are entitled to things that others are not. So we do give pet food, birthday bags, and other special items to our priority service members, okay? Or priority service clients.
Amanda, does that just mean that you can't turn anybody away?
In Illinois, correct.
Yeah.
Correct. We still have our rule, of course, of 1 pantry visit each month.
Okay.
All right, continuing with who we are now, we also had some great things we were able to do. As of July 1st, the pantry has 2 paid staff members, and that is Alice and Carol. So, I'm not paid, but I put this picture in because I thought it was a really good one of me. But they're the ones who are paid, okay? And then we still rely, as we always have, completely on the donations of food and funds from outside sources. So that has not changed. And of course, our hours here are still 4:30 to 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, 9 to 11 a.m. on Saturday mornings. If you are in our doors before our end time, we will serve you. We will serve you. Okay? Okay, so all of you, I think, know how the pantry works. People come in, they get a number, they go to our registration room, they get registered. Raise your hand if you are a registration volunteer. A few, excellent, okay. Our registrars know that we ask our clients a lot of questions when they're first coming in. Where do you live? How many people are in your family? What are their names? What is everyone's ages? Are you a veteran? Do you get any other services? And we ask these questions because we want to know what hunger looks like in our communities, okay? It doesn't look like it may have in the past. Hunger affects everyone now. It affects people with families, the elderly, young couples starting out, people who might be new to the area or even new to the country. It looks a lot different than it did, but we try to recognize that through our registration system. Clients can still come in once each calendar month. We do ask that they bring ID and their reusable shopping bags. The entire process, once they go to the registration room, come out and shop the client choice area, takes between 10 and 30 minutes. You know, our people who have been here every month, our regulars, they know how it works and it goes much faster. And registration is much faster, of course, for our regular clients. We just check, make sure everything's still correct, see how things are going in their lives, if there's anything else we can recommend, and then they're on their way to shop. For those of you who might be new or don't know the client side of it, all of our clients receive pre-packed bags of food. So everything you see down the sides, all those pantry staples that are in cans or jars or boxes, all clients receive that. They also receive a bag of frozen meat, a bag of fresh produce, a bag of baked goods, and a dozen eggs. Then when they come out here to shop in this area, they have their choices of more things: condiments, snacks, dairy products, deli meals, household products, all kinds of things out here. By the time a cart leaves our facility, right now it is valued at an average of $375 per cart. That's retail, okay? So we do try to give out a tremendous amount of food each time. All right, behind the scenes. For those of you who are here to help with the food, there's a lot that goes on to run the pantry that doesn't involve food at all. I know, I don't see how people work without snacks, but some of them do. We have our board of directors. This isn't everyone, but it is most of them. We added a few new board of director members this year. So raise your hand if you are on our board of directors. We've got Nancy in the back, Larry, Lori, Lee. Yep, so thank you so much, our board. Okay, keep going. Which of course set up like a typical board would be. This is a working board. They are expected to do things. So things like the yard sale and Super Bowl and all of those other things, they make those things happen. You've got, I don't know, executive director, you can skip that. We've got our treasurer, pantry manager, assistant pantry manager, meat manager, and then we should have a couple more down here, operations, and our building manager. And so those are all the people you know, right? You see us all the time. We refer to everybody. We have the core four. Raise your hand if you're a core four. Jim, Claudia, Alice, Carol. That's right. Jim, Claudia, Alice, and Carol are our core four, we call them. This probably isn't the most flattering description, but they're the four legs of the table. That's the Westchester Food Pantry, right? The table that we serve this food upon and that people come to get it. They're the four legs of the table. If one leg is missing, the whole thing topples, okay? But all the behind the scenes stuff is quite a bit. So we've got our back office things. We still have to report to the IRS, even though we're a nonprofit. We still have to pay bills to keep the lights on and the freezers running, right? We have to track food, how much is coming in, how much is going out. We have to work with the village. We have legal help every once in a while to make sure that we're filing all of our paperwork correctly to remain a nonprofit. So there's a lot that goes on in the back end that really takes a lot of time and effort, so we do want to recognize that. All right, so let's turn ourselves to our clients. In 2025, of course, was our highest year yet. We have just under 6,500. Could we not have put it one more person in there? But that's okay. So we've got our 6,499. That's households. That is not individuals. That is households. So we're looking at over 20,000 people helped last year. Okay, which is really tremendous. Okay. Per service day, our average for 2025 is 64. So some days it could be 45, some days it's 75. We never know, really. And as many years as I've been here and we've all been here doing this, it's almost impossible to predict when people are going to come in. Sometimes you think bad weather will keep people away and it doesn't, or people won't show up and they come in. We just never know. So as we know, we had the government shutdown and the SNAP interruption. So that was really crazy. Between the end of October and Thanksgiving in November, we served 662 client households, which is tremendous. And our biggest day at 104 was November 8th. To be clear, we were equipped to serve more people than 104, but we ran out of time. We can only ask our volunteers to stay here so long, right? Otherwise, we could be serving people all day long. But 104 is what we got in. I think it was a Saturday morning in 2 hours. When we're looking at client visits by village, Bellwood still leads the most. Westchester is second. Then we have Broadview, Hillside, and the rest. Now that half of the year is starting to reflect those other communities that are coming in, because we will serve everyone, I think eventually we're going to find that out of our priority area clients, the majority are coming from Maywood, probably followed by Cicero, Berwyn, Melrose Park, and other nearby suburbs. We did 2 surveys at the end of the year. You might have seen a volunteer satisfaction survey, I hope. And we had a client satisfaction survey. I've had a chance a lot more to study our client satisfaction survey results. And the good news is that everything is really fantastic. Overall, our clients are really happy with the services that we provide and what they're receiving. So one of the questions on the survey was, are you satisfied with the variety of food available? We have over 76% extremely satisfied, and then 23% somewhat satisfied, okay? And this is just a small sampling, of course, not everyone filled out my survey. Do you feel the food provided meets your household needs? 69% yes. This provides for us, satisfies what we need. And 28% said sometimes. And actually the green, someone made their own option. I think I know who it is, and she's wonderful. I have made some great meals with these items, always thankful. So I definitely would put her here. You want to? Oh, you did. Has the pantry helped relieve financial stress for you and your family? 78% yes. Yes. And 19% somewhat, and we have a little sliver of no. But it's nice to know that this kind of food, or the help that we give people, by providing between $350 and $400 of food on a monthly basis, that will ease pressure in people's budgets elsewhere. Maybe that frees up money for medicine. Maybe it frees up money for an electric bill. Maybe that frees up money so you can buy, new shoes for your kids who grow like crazy, right? Like, that's important. So this was really good to know that for most of our clients, they do feel that coming here relieves their financial stress somewhat, as much as we can. Here, do you receive enough food to last until your next visit? 45% yes. We are giving them enough food, and I've heard this from my seniors who maybe are just 1 or 2 in a household. What we give them will last them the month until they come back again. And that's incredible. To think that for 45% of people, we could be their only food source. That's amazing. Okay, and this was always really good. 3 questions. Do you feel comfortable interacting with staff and volunteers? Do you feel your privacy is respected during your visits? And do you feel you are treated with dignity and respect when visiting the pantry? 100%. Yeah, so I was very happy to see those. Okay, so we've got all this food, right? We're giving it out, but where does it come from? Okay, anyone set up volunteers, raise your hands, right? To see all that food coming in is bonkers sometimes, right? But it's wonderful. Those are the great problems we do like to have. So last year, we gave out 620,000 pounds of food at an estimated retail cost of $2.4 million, which is incredible. We've got in the blue here, this is our food from the Greater Chicago Food Depository in the USDA. We're at 41%. 47% comes from food reclamation. And then we've got our food drives, pantry drop-offs, and then our random purchases. Jim can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for the first year in 2025, food reclamation has outpaced what we get from the Greater Chicago Food Depository. So food reclamation is a really important part of what we do. Do we have any food reclaimers in here? Yes, excellent. Bethany, Larry, perfect. So food reclamation, for those of you who don't know, it's when we go to a grocery store that we have a relationship with, get the food that's no longer sellable but still perfectly edible, and we bring it here, and instead of going to a landfill, it goes to the kitchens of people in need. Okay? Right now, I want to say we have relationships with maybe 15 stores, maybe more. Some of those stores we go to once a week. Some of those stores we go to 3 times a week, because that's how much they have to give. But this was really incredible that the Greater Chicago Food Depository used to be our main source of food. That is no longer true. And I think that's reflective of things that are going on nationally with policies that are happening and how money is being allocated. But it's also true of how much need there is and how being stretched they are. All right, so our top sites, we hit 2 Jewels, LaGrange Park and Westchester. They give us the most, which is wonderful. We've got our Super Target in Broadview, a few Aldis, our Kroger warehouse. My little asterisk is there because it's a bummer. We've been getting so much food from them, over 31,000 pounds last year. They are closing. They are closing, so we are losing that source of food, which is quite serious for us.
Are they going anywhere?
They are closing because their parent company said they were not doing enough business. All those people will lose their jobs.
And their Wisconsin closed too.
Yeah. So all those people are losing their jobs, and we are losing our source of food. Mariano's in Westchester, Misfits Market that used to be Imperfect Produce. That's where we get a bunch of our extra produce from every single week, which is wonderful. So overall, U.S. food pantries and food banks prevent over 3.6 billion pounds of food from going into landfills each year, which again is wonderful. If it's not going into a landfill, it's going to neighbors in need, which is wonderful. Something else that was really tremendous, we had a record number of food drives in our 4th quarter. So as the government shut down and SNAP was paused, the community really stepped up, which was really just so heartwarming and wonderful to see. We had a record number of 59 food drives. Approximately 20,000 extra pounds of food came in that last quarter. And you can see the first 3 quarters of the year, there were only 21 food drives. And the 4th quarter of 2024, there were 27 food drives compared to 59 in the 4th quarter of this year, or 2025. So that was really huge. Of course, we have our Wet Nose Pantry. We are one of the few pantries in the Greater Chicago Food Depository Network that provides food for pets. We know that if people are struggling to buy people food, they're definitely struggling to buy pet food, which has gotten tremendously expensive lately. So we do have our Wet Nose Pantry. In 2025, 53% of all of our clients requested pet food. And again, that pet food is only available to our priority service client or priority service area clients. So you have to show us an ID that you live in those 8 communities to receive that pet food. We work a lot with Rescue Pack. It's a major source of our pet food. They charge like pennies on the pound for dog food, cat food. We picked up pet food 9 times last year, over 14,000 pounds of pet food just from Rescue Pack. However, that doesn't quite meet all of our needs, so we still request pet food throughout the year because we need it. It goes out the door quite quickly. Now we'll go to outreach and fundraising. I know I talked about this last year. Outreach used to be a really important way for us to meet potential donors, volunteers, and clients. And as wonderful as that is, it's also very time consuming. It is very time consuming to get all your stuff together, take it to an event, set up your space, and hope that you're going to meet people, break it all down. Oh, in all kinds of weather, I've done outreach events in ridiculous heat. I have done outreach events at 10 degrees and being outside in the winter. It's not fun. So because it's so time consuming and because we really haven't, we're not struggling to find volunteers. We're not struggling to get our name out there for clients anymore. So we've deliberately cut back on a lot of those outreach events and put our efforts and energy elsewhere. So we did, I think, a little over 18 outreach events last year compared to 39 in 2024. And one of the things that we're really just focusing on now is if a park district or a library or somewhere is having an event, we'll just fill those treat bags that have our flyers in English and Spanish about how to find us if you need food, put some granola bars, some fruit snacks, some candy in there, and they'll pass them out for us, which is a much better use of our time, and we're still reaching the same amount of people. All right. Fundraisers. We have upped the amount of fundraising events we do. So we have several throughout the year. Of course, our Super Bowl. Raise your hand if you have been to the Super Bowl. Yes, everyone's hand should be up. It is the best soup-related event on the face of the earth, and I love it. If you are not ready to roll out of there because you have had so much soup, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Okay, so last year was our 6th year, meaning our upcoming Super Bowl on January 31st will be our 7th one. We have our Spring Fling Artisan Market. Our artisan markets are always accompanied by our Vital and Bloodmobile now, or at least they were last year. We don't make a ton of money from our artisan markets. We charge a minimal fee for vendors to have a table, but it's really more of a way to highlight local vendors who are making like really nice artisan products, and also a different way to get people here in the pantry and raise awareness about us that they might not know about us. So it's just, those are fun events. And then the Vital and Bloodmobile always gives us, I think, $20 for every time they suck your blood. Right? So you donate blood and then they donate to us, which is really cool. We partner very heavily with the grassroots garden groups. They do 2 events for us each year. In May, they always do a seedling sale. We've got the president of the grassroots garden group here, Bethany. They do wonderful work in town. Yes, wonderful work in town. So they do their seedling sale. And then, of course, we have our yard sale extravaganza. For those of you, I see Annette who's like, this is bigger than Christmas. You have to understand. For people who love yard sales, it's like better than the birth of your children, I think. I don't know. It's just an amazing event. So we do have a few changes this year for our yard sale extravaganza. But before we talk about that, last year was our highest year ever, $17,000. We've made over $100,000 total, and Claudia Gable has led it for 7 years. And Jim. I feel like if you've been at the pantry enough, you know that when you say one, you mean both, right? We should just say Gables. A Gables was in charge. A Gable was in charge. So Claudia led it for 7 years, but now Larry's going to take over for 2026.
When you say say Larry, you say Linda.
I don't know that Linda follows the Gable method of but yes, Linda will be there. She definitely added some flair last year. It was very, very fun. She does a stand-up routine in the middle of the yard sale, which is a lot of fun. But so he's taking it over, and his volunteers, the yard sale committee, is actually hard at work right now. And we will start our donation drop-off days the first Saturday in March. So look for information coming soon. We also do a mid-year letter writing campaign, just saying, hey, we are poor, we need money, can you give us some? So that is something we do every year, let people know what we're up to. And then last year, we also did a few other things. We're always in the Independence Day Parade. We did the party in the park with Westchester Park District. We are the only beverage seller, which is really nice of the Park District to make that stipulation. When they bring in all the food vendors, for those of you who have been to the party in the park, they tell them specifically, you cannot sell beverages. Okay, that's up to us. We sell water and pop, and we get all that revenue. So that's really wonderful. And Larry organized that this year, and in the past, Jim has always organized that. We had the Grassroots Garden Group's Garden Walk, which was huge, and it was the biggest profit ever from that event, which was wonderful. $7,000 came in from the garden walk. We did our 30th anniversary. We celebrated in September with Harvesting Hope. That was a really fun event. I dressed up. It was great. And then to finish out the year, we had Pints for a Purpose, which was a new event that we've done. One of our board members, John, put that one on. It was at the Hop District, which is a brewery in LaGrange Park. A bunch of people came out. We had raffles. People could bring their kids. It's a really relaxed space. So that was a new fundraiser, and I think that's going to be a consistent one throughout the years. Our fall photo project we're still doing, which is wonderful. We continue to do our Thanksgiving fundraising at Jewel. In past years, we've gotten between $4,000 and $5,000 from fundraising at Jewel, but the community really opened up their hearts and their wallets this year. We raised over $11,000. Wow. It was tremendous. Our Winter Wonderland Holiday Market, again, always accompanied by our Vital and Blood Mobile, which is a lot of fun. And then finally, we have our end of year letter campaign. So fundraising is really something we're doing all year long, because again, this pantry is sustained by donations of funds and food. Okay, we don't get electricity until enough people donate to pay that electricity bill, right? Okay. Some new things for 2025. We used to have a waiting area up here. But instead, to be able to handle the clients, the number of clients coming in, and also give them more food, we decided to turn our lobby, which had previously been kind of a little store with clothes or coats or books, just random items that clients could shop for. We got rid of that, our lobby shop, and we made that our waiting room. So now we can fit 17 people in here, and this entire area up here is all client choice items. We rearranged it. We got our new service area in July. I talked about that. We serve Illinois now. Our 2 paid staff members, which was fantastic, and we've been working to try to do that for a long time. So we're glad that finally came to fruition. We were also able to reboot the client newsletter, just like I send newsletters to you all, probably just about every week. Once or twice a month, I send a client newsletter out. We have, I think, a little over 2,000 clients on our list. And it has everything from job opportunities, how to get help with utility bills, where to find free clothes for your children or school supplies. And it contains a lot of information that, if you need help with food, you might need help with these other things as well. And one of the things that was interesting, when I did the client survey, I asked them what kind of information they would like to see in these newsletters, and a lot of them said jobs and housing. Okay, so if you know of any job opportunities, please send them my way, and I'm glad to broadcast them. We added a few more community drop-off locations, and then we did our coat and blanket giveaway in December, which was a lot of fun and also chaotic, but a lot of fun. Okay, so that was new. Our challenges and highlights for 2025, I've already talked about some of this. In the beginning of the year, we were really worried about ice for probably the first quarter and a half. Really worried about ice coming to our pantry and how do we handle that? What are our procedures? And going to seminars from the Illinois Human Rights Watch and the Illinois Coalition of Immigrant and Refugee Rights to see what we could do. How can we protect people when they come here? We had heard that ICE had targeted a few food pantries further out west, Villa Park and further out. Fortunately, we did not have any problems here at our location. However, we did notice, just anecdotally, a drop in our Hispanic clientele. But again, conversely, which is one of the reasons why I love being in this pantry, the community stepped up. We got several calls saying, hey, if people are too scared, I will take food to them, which was really wonderful. Again, we had all those client visits, the end of October through November 22nd. Of those visits in 2025, 24% of those were new to the pantry, okay? We still provided during that difficult time of the government shutdown and the SNAP pause, we still provided people with the same service, we still provided people with the same amounts of food or as much as we could give them. And we had to rearrange everything. We brought in extra volunteers for the parking lots, we brought in extra volunteers for nearly every shift, more registration volunteers. And again, conversely, the community supported us and the volunteers supported us. People came to help, people came to donate, and it was really fantastic to see that. We could meet this need, this tremendous need, because the community supported us. So challenges, of course, still facing food pantries, a rising demand for services. We're going to see that more and more. Just as SNAP was continued, right? They turned it back on, flipped that switch in November. In December 1st, a whole nother group of people went off SNAP or were forced off SNAP because of the changes in the work requirement rules. And other rules about residency. So just as people were getting their SNAP benefits back, a whole other group lost them. So we know that need is going to continue to rise. Volunteer recruitment and retention is always a concern for all pantries, ours as well. And infrastructure limitations. You know, we only have so many fridges, we only have so many freezers, only so much space to hold the food that we need to serve the population we need to serve. Okay, that's always a concern. Funding challenges, always. Preventing donor fatigue is a big one. We need to hopefully get some more grants, working more with local companies to get sponsorships. And just like everyone faces a rising cost for food, utilities, insurance, so do we as an organization. Those prices and those costs all go up for us as well. We have made a lot of strides in community awareness and engagement and letting people know how hunger affects everyone. People you might think ordinarily as being safe from this, not always are. So letting people know that has been tremendous. But we still do it. We still do it. And that's entirely due to our volunteers. So thank you all so much for everything you do. Volunteers are the heart of our pantry. Over 18,000 volunteer hours were given here to make this pantry operate last year. That is a lot. That's a lot of time, and we value that. Thank you so much. One of the things I hear over and over again, and it was really evident in the client satisfaction survey, was that clients have to come here for their food, right? But they enjoy coming here. They look forward to coming here. They see it as a blessing to come here, and that's because our volunteers live out their values. Those values of, it is unacceptable for anyone in this world to go hungry. That everyone is treated with dignity and respect and care. That we are going to make our tiny little rectangle of the universe a really nice place to be for them and for each other. And that is a feeling that they get every single time they come here. And those comments, I'll share them on social media and through newsletters coming up, but the comments were overwhelmingly thank you for what you do. We work with our partners, donors, and volunteers to do the most that we possibly can for our clients. And of course, we know, I always say it, it's not because it's a cute tagline, but together we make a difference, because we do. If this were up to me alone, I would be on my third pack of Oreos crying under a table. Okay? This is because of you. This is because of everyone here that we are able to do this work. And I posted this on social media, but I wanted to post it again here. It's a quote from Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, for anyone who remembers. We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say, it's not my child, not my community, not my world, not my problem. But then there are those who see the need and respond. I consider those people my heroes. And you are the heroes here. So thank you. So what do we have coming in 2026? One of the things that we are going to do, and we found out through the survey, is that some of our clients really miss that lobby shop, right? And people like to contribute to that when they can. So we are going to bring back our lobby shop. We're going to do a pop-up once each month. We're going to start for an hour and a half on a Saturday, and we are going to set up our lobby, and people can come in and shop from it. So we have a bunch of coats, hats, gloves, scarves, and things like that to give out. I'm trying to get our volunteer newsletter out tonight. It will have information about our lobby shop coming up. Feel free to volunteer, but we're excited to get this going again. We're also going to be teaching CPR and AED classes. We're going to start out teaching them for our volunteers, and then once our volunteers have had a chance to take those, we will be offering them to our clients. We have infant and adult-sized mannequins that we will be practicing our CPR on, and we also have an AED machine now for the pantry. So we want to make sure as many people as possible know how to work those. And oh my gosh, you guys, guess who's the instructor for this? You. Yeah, it's me. It's me. But I am certified through the National Safety Council. I teach first aid, CPR, and AED at the forest preserves all the time, so I've got a handle on it. So we are also rolling out some new group guidelines. We want to make sure that people who are coming in are really investing themselves in the pantry, not just coming in to check a box off of their corporate to-do list. We're working on those. We have not had a chance as the Core 4 plus me to look at the volunteer satisfaction survey results, but looking through it, one of a few of the comments I saw was that people would like to have social events for volunteers. For so many people, this is how they get involved in the community. This is their starting point when they're new to any one of our communities. This is their starting point for getting to know their neighbors, right? So my plan is, and this counts as a social event though, okay? This counts. So every other month, it'll either be a social event or a CPR class. And just like with everything, we'll have sign-up geniuses for all of those, so we can pick. I'm working on a guide to volunteering. So you want to volunteer at the Westchester Food Pantry. What should you expect? How should you get involved? We want people to be prepared, because I know sometimes people come in and for the first time it can be really overwhelming, right? Remember back to the first time you walked in here and thought, what on earth is going on? Everyone's doing something. It seems like everyone knows what they're doing. I don't know what to do. How do I help? Yes. Right? And then you just have Carol being like, Amanda, get out of the way. Which happens every time I show up at a time they don't expect me, okay? But we want people to be more comfortable to come in here. It is busy. It can seem chaotic. And I don't know that there's a lot of ways to get past that, but if we give people the tools before they even walk in the door, hey, here's what you're going to expect, I think that would be really helpful to a lot of our newcomers.
Can you add that we'll need a map afterwards too?
Yes, we will need a nap. Okay,
Make sure you do that.
Every Saturday, everyone knows, after I leave the pantry, I'm gonna shove food in my mouth and I'm going right back to bed, so that's a good point. And then a lot of our volunteers had some really great ideas that were coming out in that survey, so I think it might behoove us to have 1 or 2 volunteer roundtables. How do you think it's going? How do you think things should be? How would you like to help? Just to get those ideas, because I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I really believe that good ideas come from anywhere. And if you have had a hand in here, 1 time, 10 times, 100 times, maybe you've seen something from a different point of view that those of us who are here all the time haven't. And we want to hear those ideas, we want to hear those thoughts. So look for those as well. Our continuing goal always is empowering volunteers. We want volunteers to turn into leaders whenever possible. We could talk about all these things, but the biggest one is that the great thing that we've built here together, we need to make sure it continues. I will not be here forever. The core 4 are not going to live forever, and I have tried to make every deal I can with everyone out there to make that happen, but that's just how it is. We need more people to start taking on those leadership roles. And some of the things that we really need this year, we need a grant writer. We need a grant writer. We only get maybe 1 or 2 grants each year. They're not huge ones. But we know that there are more out there that we could do if someone had the time and the skills to do that. So if anyone is interested in taking a stab at that, or you have experience or know someone who has experience, please, please, please get in touch with us. Remember how I said now we're getting more in food reclamation now than ever before? An interesting thing happens, right? When the price of groceries goes up and people can't afford them in the store can't sell them. They donate them. And where does that food go? It goes here. So as more people can't afford food there and more people are coming here for help, we have to bring that food in our back door, right, from the stores. We need more food reclamation volunteers. It is a huge need right now. If you are interested or know someone who is interested, please reach out to Carol. You have to be available mostly in the middle of the day around lunchtime, have a big car, and be able to lift, because those boxes get really heavy. But on the plus side, you get to skip arm day at the gym that day if you do food reclamation. Okay. Then we do need help with our meat and walk-in freezer management. That is a huge job. If you've ever worked in retail or in a store, first in has to be first out, right? You have to rotate that stock. And so our walk-in freezer has to be tended to nearly, I think, twice a week at least. As things are coming in, we have to put it in its appropriate spot to make sure that stuff that's already been there gets used first, right? So we do need help with that. We do need a Facebook Marketplace lead. Larry, raise your hand. Okay. One thing that Claudia did tremendously as the lead for the yard sale extravaganza was she, all year long, puts things on Facebook Marketplace. Like the really nice items, the weird items, the high-end items. She put them on there. So before we would even start collecting donations in the spring, she would already raise several $1,000s through Facebook. So we need someone who is really adept with Facebook Marketplace to list items. And you can always arrange pickup at the pantries, the safest place during client service. They can come, hand over the money, or however, if they want to sell it or whatever. But we need someone to do that because there's a lot of things that get sold not at yard sale time. Okay, so if you are interested in that, please get in touch with Larry. We really need someone to take that on. And we talked about sustainability. So this year, we really want to turn the core 4, Alice, Carol, Jim, Claudia, we want to turn the core 4 into the exciting 8. We need to double. We need to double the amount of people who know how to run this pantry. When you add me to the core 4, you get what I like to call the Fab 5. And we need to turn that Fab 5 into the terrific 10. If we are going to keep this pantry going, and we have kept it going through so much, you all, so much. We have kept it going through someone's garage, the village public works building with like mice and cold, and you'd have to work with gloves on, to becoming a really kind of a separate organization with our own 501c3. We made it through COVID. We served people outside for over a year, 14 months. We stood outside in the heat and the rain and the snow and the cold to serve people. We did not miss a beat. We moved in here, we didn't miss a beat to serving people. We were still refurbishing this building and serving people over there. We've made it through 2 government shutdowns since I've been here. We've made it through the SNAP pause. We are making it through the challenges of ICE and whatever else this crazy government's gonna throw at us. And we've done it. We have done it, and we've done it with your help. But we have to have more people who are ready to do some of the things that we do. We need people who are going to love this pantry like it loves the community. Okay? And then more. I'm sure we'll come up with more stuff we do. Okay? So just to end really quickly, this is one of my favorite quotes, and I think it fits so well for what we have going on now in the world. It seems crazy. I know many people have sworn off social media and the news because we just don't know what kind of fresh terror is going to come next. But do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now. Love mercy now. Walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. Mm-hmm. We are all in this together. Thank you, volunteers, so much for everything you have done in 2025 and all you've given us now and in the future. This organization runs because of you. There's no question. This organization runs and works, and we feed the hungry people in our communities because of you. Thank you. Yes.
I think unless I miss anything, we should also give a little shout out to our junior board, who is kind of our next generation of volunteers and leadership roles in fundraising for staff.
Yes, and actually, I'd like to recognize Andre. Andre is one of the members. And they do a bunch of fun stuff. They work on fundraisers at the different restaurants. If you ever see a restaurant fundraiser, that's our junior board members putting that together. And then also they do things within their school. So each school they'll do an awareness event, a food drive. They'll bring in a group of friends from that school for a service day and do client service. It's a lot of fun. We've had the junior advisory board for a few years now, and it continues to grow. Yes.
Thank you.